A zero point 0.3 delta call is not just an option that moves 30 cents when the stock moves $1. It's the market quietly quoting you a probability, roughly a 30% chance that contract expires in the money. Most traders never hear that second sentence. Quick note before we go further, this is educational commentary, not personalized financial advice. I'm going to show you the mechanism, and you decide how it fits your process. Here's the belief almost every new options trader carries. Delta is a speed. You look at the chain, you see 0.3, and you think, for every dollar the stock climbs, my call gains 30 cents. That's true. But it's the shallow half of the truth, and treating delta as only a speedometer is exactly why people misprice their own risk. Let's test that shallow model with a prediction. Suppose you buy 10 of those 0.3 delta calls because you're bullish. In your head, they'll move together predictably like a dial. Then the stock rips up 4% overnight. You expect a nice linear gain. Instead, your calls explode far more than the math said they should. The speedometer model just failed you. Something else is moving. What failed is that delta itself is not fixed. As the stock rises, your 0.3 delta call becomes a 0.45 delta call, then a 0.6. The speed changes as you drive, and the reason it changes points straight at the deeper meaning. Delta isn't really a speed. It's a probability wearing a speed's clothing. Let's make it concrete with the simplest case. Forget stocks for a second. Imagine a bet that pays $100 if a number lands above 50 and 0 if it lands below. If it's a coin flip 50-50, what's that bet worth right now? About $50. 50% chance times $100 payoff. The price of the bet is the probability times the prize. Now nudge the odds. Say new information makes it 70% likely you land above 50. The bet's value jumps towards $70. Notice what just happened. The sensitivity of that bet's price to the odds is the odds themselves. That's the whole idea. An option is that same kind of bet, and delta is how sensitive its price is to whether it lands in the money. Here's the aha sentence, and I want you to keep it. Delta is approximately the market's estimated probability that your option finishes in the money. A 0.3 delta says 30%. A 0.5 delta, and at the money option, says it's basically a coin flip. A 0.9 delta says the market thinks it's nearly certain. The number on your screen was a forecast the whole time. Now the earlier mystery solves itself. When the stock ripped up, the probability of your calls finishing in the money shot up too, from 30% towards 60. And since delta is that probability, your delta rose, so each additional dollar in the stock earned you more. That acceleration has a name, gamma, but you don't need the Greek to feel it. Rising odds mean rising sensitivity. The dial speeds up because the bet is becoming a sure thing. Let me give you the durable handle. Every option price is a probability in disguise. Once you see that, the whole chain reads differently. That row of deltas isn't a list of speeds. It's the market's odds ladder, its live estimate of what's likely, printed in decimals you were ignoring. This reframes how you should think about buying cheap out-of-the-money options. That 5-cent lottery call with a 0.05 delta, you're not getting a bargain. You're being told by the collective bet of the entire market that it has about a 5% chance of paying off. Cheap in dollars is not cheap in odds. The price already contains the bad news. It also sharpens how you read a strategy's real exposure. Sell a 0.16 delta put, a common income trade, and you're accepting roughly an 84% chance it expires worthless in your favor. That sounds great until you remember the other 16% can be violent. High probability of winning is not the same as high expected value. You can be right 84% of the time and still lose money if the losses are large enough. Delta tells you the odds, not the payoff. One honest caveat. Delta is only approximately the probability. It ignores the tiny drift from interest rates, and it's measured under the market's risk-neutral pricing, not your personal view of the world. As of any given day, it can be off by a few points. But as a fast, free read on what the market thinks is likely, it's remarkably good, and it costs you nothing but the willingness to look. So what does a disciplined trader actually do with this? 3 things. First, before entering, read the delta as odds out loud. The market says this has a 40% chance. That kills the fantasy of the free lottery ticket. Second, size the position against the payoff, not the probability, because being right often means nothing if the rare loss wipes the account. Third, watch delta drift as your trade moves. When your 0.3 becomes a 0.7, your risk has quietly doubled, and your plan should already know what to do. That's the shift. You stop seeing delta as a speedometer and start seeing it as the market's own probability forecast, sitting in plain sight on every line of the chain. The same lens works on spreads, on earnings bets, on anything with a strike. If this made a hard idea feel obvious, that's exactly what this channel is for. Subscribe, and I'll keep turning the Greeks into things you can actually use. Next time you open an option chain, don't ask how fast it moves. Ask what odds it's quoting you.